Talked about with President Trump that he believes in the power of, quote, positive thinking. And you can see that in this speech where he pretends as if everything that's happening in this country is in upside down land, that we are in the greatest economy ever, that things are going so well, that people are not suffering is effectively the message that you get from President Trump. And that's just not the reality. He said, we put it in a position that it has never been before. And that's probably true, but just not in the way that he means. The economy is in a really terrible state. People are dying every day. The vaccine isn't being distributed as efficiently as it should be. This is the reality that President Trump is leaving as you see him now boarding Air Force One with Melania Trump to leave for Florida. I also thought, Jake, that it was notable. The very first thing he said was to praise his own family, who he put in positions of government power, another break in tradition, another break in norms in this country.
There he is, the 45th President of the United States and First Lady Melania Trump waving goodbye to the country. He leaves with the lowest approval ratings of any president after one term in the history of scientific polling.
Melania Trump also leaving with the lowest approval rating of any First Lady in the history of polling, which is a remarkable thing.
The plane, Air Force One, will fly them to Mar-a-Lago, and then the plane will fly back without them on it, and that will be the last time President Trump has been on Air Force One.
And is keeping with Biden.
Here is President-elect Biden and soon-to-be First Lady Jill Biden leaving from Blair House across the street from the White House. They apparently were waiting for Donald Trump to wave goodbye because they actually were scheduled to leave a little earlier, about 20 minutes ago. But with the grace and class we have come to expect from them, they waited for Donald Trump to have his moment. They are going to go to Mass right now.
That's right. Despite being snubbed, despite having to endure a speech from the man he beat that barely alluded to him and to the challenges that Joe Biden will face, that he obviously did the right thing in waiting. And this is going to be Joe Biden's day. This is, from here on out, I mean, it was really kind of theatrical that we saw Donald Trump go up on that stage, those stairs, and exit as Joe Biden and Jill Biden entered the screen.
And what we are about to see as Joe Biden and Jill Biden go to church this morning is the dawn of a new era, new for the last 4 years, but it's almost in some ways a return to Washington as usual. A denizen of this town, Joe Biden, who's been here most of his adult life, is going to go to church in a storied cathedral that has a long history in Washington with members of Congress from both sides of the aisle, a show of bipartisanship, a show of normalcy this morning as one era ends and another one begins. It's a symbolic thing, but I do think that it really speaks to, at the core, what Joe Biden is about and what he wants to do. And what he wants to do is just bring things back to normal, bring the temperature down a little bit. And, you know, it's not a reality show anymore.
As we wait for President-elect Biden to go to the Cathedral of St. Matthew, the Apostle, with bipartisan leaders, we wait for Air Force One to leave from Joint Base Andrews. Let's bring in John Bolton, who was President Trump's national security advisor. Mr. Bolton, Ambassador Bolton, thanks so much for joining us. What was your reaction to what you heard from outgoing President Trump there?
Well, I don't think it varies much from what he said for the past couple months. I think it falls into the category of it could have been worse, like much of his administration. But I think it underlines something that I've listened to a lot of television this morning. A lot of the president's critics and a lot of the president's supporters haven't yet appreciated. The supporters not really believing he's about to depart, the critics being unwilling to give up the fund they've had for the past 4 years. And I don't take second chair to anybody in being a critic. I wrote a 500-page book about him. But the fact is that at noon, in just a little over 3 hours, he will go from sitting in the most powerful office in the world, the Oval Office, to sitting by the swimming pool at Mar-a-Lago. We are about to see a change of incalculable dimensions. And for those who still just have to cover Donald Trump because they've done it for 4 years, really get over it. If you're going to waste your time on that, you're going to miss a lot of what's happening that really affects the future of the country. This is an enormous change. Donald Trump's...
You can go ahead, finish your thought.
I'm finished.
Okay, Ambassador Bolton, I'm so sorry. We have to break in there just because the